Hello, welcome to Bourbon and a Baby. My name is Jay, and welcome to Talking Bourbon and Babies. This week, we are talking with Antonio from Whiskey Quest. Antonio has a channel on YouTube, as I said, called Whiskey Quest. Does amazing reviews of all types of whiskey, not just bourbon, but all types of whiskey. And he's a super nice guy, very supportive in the community as well. And he's a dad, has two daughters, so I'm excited to drink some bourbon with him and also talk some dad stuff with him. So without further ado, everybody welcome Antonio.
Hey Jay, thanks for having me.
Hey Antonio, welcome. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem. My pleasure. It's always nice to drink with somebody else instead of just myself.
Yeah, right. I think that's one of the reasons I like this whiskey tube community so much is I feel like I'm not just sitting at home drinking by myself anymore.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I still have my dogs, but
Right. So tell us a little bit about your channel. I mentioned you have a channel called Whiskey Quest. Just tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, Whiskey Quest is something that I started in November of 2017, and it was just started off as me experimenting or trying different whiskeys and just to keep like a journal, if you will, of
Sure.
things I tried and then just to see how my palate evolved. So sort of like an experiment. But then one thing led to another, and I started doing reviews. So
Cool.
it was supposed to be like whenever I acquired a new bottle. So it was never intended for me to just go out and get 10 bottles at once. It just happened.
Right. So now you have an excuse to go out and get 10 bottles at once.
Right.
Because you
Right.
have to make content, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it was initially meant to be. So now just whiskey reviews. I like to add water to each one of them just to see if it changes. And that's it. Just whiskeys, bourbon, scotch, Japanese, you name it. As long as it's whiskey, I'm gonna try it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of your channel. I think your
Thanks.
reviews are great. And I love how supportive you are within the community too. I mean, whether it's a live stream or watching a video, I can always count on seeing a comment or something from you. So it's really cool to see.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, just I'm always learning, so everybody brings something new to the table. You don't know who's gonna give out that information that maybe you didn't know about. So you
Yeah.
gotta open up your mind to different things. So I mean, you would be you can I can relate to you because you're a dad, so I started watching your channel. I was like, hey, it's like there's those kind of connections, that you build with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, so you're a dad, you have two daughters. How
Right.
old?
I got a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Nice.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Oh man, it's been a trip.
Yeah.
I
Starting to hit
mean,
those teenage years.
once they hit those teenage years, and the other ones, not far behind from being a preteen, so it's a challenge there, definitely.
Yeah.
Be a
Yeah.
big challenge, but it's fun. I love every moment of it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Yeah, that's cool. What do
Yeah,
you think? You want to start drinking some bourbon?
yeah, man. Let's start with the Repeal batch.
Yeah, I got some Jim Beam Repeal batch here.
Hey, it looks just like my bottle.
Yeah. Weird.
So you're a big Jim Beam fan, or?
I like I like a lot of the stuff that they put out. As far as Jim Beam, the name on the label itself, I was never a big fan of white label. And I never really got into some of the other expressions, but when this came out, I was kind of intrigued, so I bought a bottle, and especially when you put it next to Jim Beam White Label,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is much, much better, at least in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's a definitely step up from the white, for sure.
and for only a couple dollars more, is kind of a no-brainer.
Oh yeah, yeah. Too bad it's a limited release.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it in my local store recently. I don't know if it's still out there anywhere or
I
if
still
it's
see
done
it by
now.
me. I
Do
still
you?
see it. Yeah, yeah, but it's the one I stopped seeing is the distiller's cut. So that's slowly going away. But this one's
Yeah,
still out. It'll be around for maybe this year.
right. So all the stock runs out.
Yeah,
I get that some of that nuttiness right off the bat.
yeah, nuttiness. I always get some orange citrus kind of smell from this.
Okay, yeah.
The woody note, the nuttiness, caramel, obviously.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind if they replaced the white label with this one. Why
Right.
not?
Right. And it's so it's 43%. So, white label is 40.
40,
So,
yeah.
so yeah, 80 proof or 86 proof for this. It's non-chill
Unchill
filtered,
not so filtered, yeah.
and I feel like within the community of whiskey drinkers, we appreciate the non-chill filtered aspect of it. So we know there's just going to be that little bit of extra flavor that a non-chill filtered bourbon is going to have over something that is chill filtered.
Right. And that's something now that you're talking about that. That's something I haven't tried. Everybody's trying blind stuff because that's the best way to really know what you like, right? Without
Sure.
even knowing. So I'm wondering if we put a white label in this one in a blind, see if we can
Yeah.
detect the unchilled filtered flavor that we talked about. That'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
that would be interesting. It's something I've thought about doing, and I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that once you said that kind of orange citrusy note, like I smell that really heavy here.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
Yep.
Well, for a
Cheers.
taste. Cheers.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Really oaky.
Yeah.
Really oaky. Some cinnamon.
Hmm.
Do you I a lot of times when I get cinnamon I also get mint. Like a minty fresh kind of
I'm not getting mint on this right now, but tend to get it on some of the higher rye stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm not picking up the mint, but I'm picking up the cinnamon and almost like I get that kind of back end nuttiness too.
yeah, I can taste that citrus in the palate too. Yeah, I don't mind the white label, but this is definitely a big step up from that.
Yeah, I agree. Like this, I I would drink this just like this, neat, and not have a problem. But white label, I'm not gonna
You're
drink
not
white label
gonna
neat. And I
yeah,
don't mind. I don't mind it if I really like, especially if it's a night that I'm gonna be. If I know I'm gonna have a couple, and if I'm out somewhere,
yeah.
I'll drink, white label with ginger ale or whatever. And but yeah, this holds up on its own. Like you don't need to add anything
Yeah.
to this.
And white label, I'm sure it's all meant to be mixed, but you want to
Right.
sip, why not? It's not gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So what I
Uh,
like about Repeal batch is how they made the label like vintage.
hmm.
So imagine once it really starts running out, and there'll be people coming across it that don't know much about whiskey, and they're gonna be like, "Whoa, that's like a dusty right there."
Yeah. Yeah. I got this old bottle. Looks like it's from the 30s. Yeah, it is. It is a really cool label design. I like that. I like companies doing kind of special release things like this. Kind of, I don't know, it gets me a little bit more excited about the brand or excited to try something different, even if they could put this out. It could be the same exact product. They could slap a different label, call it something else, and I'd probably still get excited about it.
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, I like Jim Beam. Their prices are just right,
Mm-hmm.
not super
Yep.
expensive. Yeah, nice honey note opening up now that it's in the glass for a while.
Yeah, and like I get kind of a I think it might just be that oak, but then that nuttiness, like almost like a creamy peanut butter
Yeah,
that
yeah,
really just kind of takes over my tongue
yeah.
with some cinnamon drizzled in there. Yeah, this is good stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm getting some dark chocolate in the finish, like
Mm,
that bitter dark chocolate, creamy, like you said too.
yeah, yeah, that's like this has a great mouthfeel. Um, like again for being only like 86 proof. Usually,
Hmm.
what you'd expect it to be a lot more thin, but it's actually pretty thick and filling.
Yeah, you look at those legs. Look at them. They don't just
Yeah.
run to the glass. They actually stick there. Good stuff. I'm on my
So
third bottle.
you're what on your what bottle?
Third bottle. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I thought about buying a couple when I bought this one, and I'm like, oh, I'll see how I like it, and then I'll come back and grab a couple if I do like it. And then I kept every time I would go back, there's something else I would buy instead.
No, yeah.
And now, like I said, I haven't seen it in my local store for a while now. So I'm sure if I traveled around, I might be able to find it somewhere. But I haven't seen it around here.
Yeah, just taking it to party. So this is the one that I bought to review. I bought one for Christmas, and then I bought another one to go to another party. So and
Nice.
everybody liked it. Everybody liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you in Chicago? Like you're in like at least the area, right?
I'm in the suburbs of Chicago. Yeah, I'm like from the downtown area. I'm about 40 minutes away.
Okay.
So it's not too far. You know.
Yeah. How are the like stores around there as far as what's available and prices and all that?
Oh, it depends on the product. Um, Buffalo Trace is definitely something that's hard to get. Not the regular Buffalo Trace, but the other offerings. You know, like
Right.
even rare and stuff. So
Mm.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's pretty much one of the hardest things to get.
It's so
Everything else
weird.
I've been able to find, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That and Four Roses. Four Roses barely started showing up. The Distillers Select. No, no, what's it called?
The
The
small
new one.
batch
Small
selects.
batch. Yeah,
Yeah.
Select. Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Supposedly that's finally gonna get into Ohio sometime soon. So I'm excited about that. So I haven't had
Yeah.
a chance to try that yet.
We haven't tried it. Oh,
Mm.
you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, here in Ohio, we're like all of our liquor stores are controlled by the state. So we get the nice thing about it is that they can only there's only a certain price they can charge. They can't overcharge for anything.
Yeah.
Um, but the bad thing about it is there's a lot of stuff we just don't get here because there's a lot of hoops that have to be jumped through in order. So like any Willet products, they don't sell any Willet products in Ohio. Like there's all kinds of stuff that I see people drinking all the time, and I'm just like, ugh! But we can't get it here.
Yeah. There was a I saw it on the news somewhere where I don't remember the Crown Royal Peach when it came
Hmm.
out. Everybody was going crazy for that.
Yeah,
Wasn't it in Ohio that I think there was a lady in a liquor store selling them under the table for like $50 a bottle, and I
really.
guess because it's a controlled state, she got in trouble. She could go to prison or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear that story, but yeah, that they would
That could happen.
pretty big trouble
Yeah,
for doing something like that, which is so like over Crown Royal Peach
yeah,
of
yeah.
all things.
People wanted it, so she
Yeah,
thought she could make a quick buck there
yeah.
by
It's
selling.
one thing if it was like a bottle of Pappy or something.
Yeah, Crown Royal Peach.
Yeah, that's funny. Um, So one of the things that I wanted to like have you on to talk about is you have like we mentioned, you have older daughters. You have like a lot more experience as a dad than I do. I'm only a little over a year in. So like how has being a dad changed you, like just in general or as a person or anyway?
It changed me all for the better, honestly. I mean, I was always this irresponsible guy that going to bars and just partying, didn't care about the next day. It was just just wake up, live day by day. But now
Sure.
my daughters, everything changes. Like now I wake up and go to work because I have a responsibility. So it made me in a way mature and grow up, for the
Yeah.
better. Without them, you know, I wouldn't have a steady job. I wouldn't have that. What can I? How can I say it? It's just to be around. Just to have a reason to live.
Yeah.
So they definitely made me a more responsible person and a lot more emotional because I'm around girls. So I'm like, before if I watched this, a movie with like, a father and son and they give each other a hug, I'd just be like, oh, whatever. But now I'm like, oh,
So I've always kind of been a softie, but ever since Max was born, I'm like 1,000 times worse.
yeah,
Um, when my wife was pregnant, she was probably like 7 or 8 months pregnant. There was a commercial that was on all the time where it showed like this dad moving his daughter away to college, and
yeah,
then once like he left, she like asked Alexa to play his favorite song or something, and like there was one time that commercial came on, and I got like teary eyed. And my wife looked at me. She's like, "What are you like? What is wrong with you?" I go, "Max is gonna leave for college."
yeah, yeah. I mean, every time they have a birthday, I break out in tears because there's just one more year they're getting older,
Yeah,
and maybe because they're girls and it's I don't know if it was a boy. I don't know how I would feel if it was a boy. Because it's like you're raising a man. You're gonna go out there
right.
be a man. But with a girl, it's like oh man, it's like who's gonna take care of my kid when she leaves my house? So it's
Yeah.
uh, so they look at me. They're like, is dad gonna cry again? I'm like, you better believe it. I'm like,
Yeah, I am. Get used to it. That's funny. I can't imagine like yeah, because they're at that age where I'm sure they're a lot more independent. They're wanting to leave the house and kind of either be with friends or be on their own and stuff. And there's got to be a part of that that's kind of hard to let go a little bit.
oh yeah, it definitely is. My oldest one, 13 years old. Obviously, your firstborn, you just don't want to let go. So, but we knew we had to do it because it's for her own good. They gotta
Right.
learn to be independent. We're not gonna be around forever. So we just had to start letting her go, and it's like going to the store, coming back. Now she's walking to school, and she walks pretty far. So it was hard letting go, but
Yeah.
once you let it go, it's like okay.
Gets a little bit easier as the time goes on.
Yeah, because you don't want them to be too sheltered, because
Right.
then they go out into the real world, they're just not gonna know what to do, how to handle things. So we definitely have to cut that cord, let them
Yeah.
go. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
she'll be
That.
starting high school soon. So that's another thing.
Wow.
I need her to be more independent,
Right.
and you know. So with the second one, it might be a lot easier. So we already go.
Yeah. Once you've gone through it already,
Yeah.
right? Um, what being much more experienced than I am, what type of do you have any type of like tips or anything for me like over the next course of couple of years? Any advice you can throw my way?
Yeah. The only thing I always tell people like they have their first kid, it's like the only thing you can do really is be there for them, 100%. You know, they always come first. I know it's hard sometimes because you have work, and maybe your boss tells you to work overtime and you have to provide. But if they have that one thing, like maybe just the smallest thing, maybe like a school play, and you couldn't make it. You've seen all those movies and stuff where the dad couldn't make it to the baseball
Yeah.
game or something. It matters to them. So
Right.
me growing up, my dad had to no choice but to work, and missing some of my games. I know I felt that. So I want to be
Right.
there for my kids. So I'm like, just try and be there, as much as you can, and if you do that, you'll be fine.
Nice.
You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
That's something I definitely want to make sure that there's always going to be that one thing or whatever that you have to miss for whatever reason, but that's one thing that's going to be really important to me is to always be there and be present, and just even if it's just like I had noticed because Max, where he's at now, he's walking all over the place, and he does a great job of just keeping himself entertained and busy.
Yeah.
So like I'll notice sometimes I'll just be like sitting on the couch and he's running around playing, and I'll be on my phone or something, and I'm like, you know what? Put the phone down. Let me get on
Yeah.
the floor and play
Yeah.
with Max. Like
Yeah. Definitely. I remember
create.
that was you did a video, right? That you talked about that was gonna be like your resolution or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That was one of my
Definitely.
parenting resolutions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Um,
it sucks now because your phone's right there, your email, everything, and you do get distracted. So that was pretty cool. I should try that too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It. He definitely appreciate. Like you can tell. Like I said, he's always totally fine playing by himself usually, but when I actually get down on the floor with him, like he kind of lights up a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's kind of
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
it's worth it.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
So you have a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Are you in the pre-planning stages of her quinceanera?
That's the big stress right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
for next year we were just talking about that yesterday. We said we were having dinner. Uh and I told my wife, I'm like, we gotta book that hall, before, because we're just thinking about us, but there's people getting married, there's people, other, cotillions or sweet 16s, or you name it, all these events, and we're gonna go there last minute and not find a place. So it's gonna, you know,
Right.
we want to find a good deal. So we gotta have to start looking maybe in the next month. So it's gonna be a whole year of planning.
It's like a wedding almost.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, you got to plan the hall, the DJ, the food. Yeah, just like a wedding. The limo.
If
It's probably as expensive as a wedding. I don't know.
sure, if there's anybody that out there that doesn't know, can you kind of explain what that is?
Yeah, cotillion is what the Hispanic community celebrates when a girl turns 15 and pretty much becomes a woman. So it's pretty much the same thing as a sweet 16, just a year a year
Right.
before. So it's exactly the same thing, and it's uh, the traditional thing is you go to church and the priest does like a blessing and like a ceremony, it's just like a wedding, but it's like
Mhm.
welcoming this new woman to the world that and so it's stressful, and I'm not looking forward to it, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to get the whole family together and celebrate that
Yeah.
big event in their life. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know when I was in high school, I had a couple of friends that I went to theirs, and it just always I thought it was always really cool, like to have this huge celebration, family, friends, and
Yeah.
um, yeah, I always enjoyed. I think I went to maybe three or four. I always thought they were really cool.
Yeah, yeah, they are pretty cool. I mean, it's like you said, it's just like a wedding. There's gonna be they do their special dance. So I mean, she gets to dance like father daughter dance. So it's It's gonna be an emotional day. I'll tell you
I
that.
say you're gonna get a little choked up. Yeah, anytime I can see it now. Anytime like Max does anything like has some type of an accomplishment, I'm gonna be in the background just like
And he just
I'm,
had a birthday, right? He just had his first birthday.
yeah, just 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Like
It was
it's
your first
crazy.
big party planning.
Yeah, in which that's my wife lives for planning stuff like that. So like she just absolutely loves that stuff. Um, but it's crazy how fast that year went. Like
Yeah.
absolutely flew by.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. I he's such like a chill kid because everybody was like waiting for that cake smash moment. And I'm like, I can predict exactly what he's gonna do. I'm like, he's gonna like we'll put his hand in it because he probably won't do it himself. Then he'll just slowly just go like this. Like he didn't go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just like, yeah, this is some good stuff.
This is yeah, you definitely see those kids going like that. Maybe that's not a good sign if they stumble over the cake. It's like, the terrible twos are coming.
Right. Yeah.
A
No,
lot earlier.
he was real chill. He was real
Yeah,
chill. So I think we're all right.
that's very cool. Yeah. I think that was my favorite part of, you know, the girls is when they were around that age, when they're first starting to walk and exploring and stuff like that. That more active, not just
Yeah.
laying there and drooling.
Right. Right. Yeah.
They actually want to do something.
The nice thing when they're not active is you can kind of like you can put them somewhere and you can kind of leave the room for a second or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you have well, once they start moving, you have to make sure that they're locked down. You have to baby proof everything.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the baby moving.
yeah, but it is a lot more fun. It is definitely a lot more fun now that he's. I mean, he just almost runs everywhere he goes now, and I mean he's pretty clumsy yet, but for the most part, he's on good legs. But it's just funny because like he won't pay attention, and so he'll have toys all over the floor, and then he'll just be running and he'll trip over them. So he gets like bruises all over the place. If my last video I posted with him in it, he has this humongous bruise like right on his forehead that you can see like really clearly in that
Yeah,
video.
yeah. There's gonna be way more, man.
Yeah, and every time like I'm like, oh, but
It builds
he's gotta learn,
character.
I guess.
It builds character.
Right, right.
Yeah, I would when my wife would go to work, because I did a second shift for a while, so I would send her pictures of having my daughter jump from the coffee table to the couch, like catch her in midair and be like, "Hey, check this out." She's supposed to be in good hands. I'm like, she is. Don't worry.
She was freaking out, just getting those pictures. With one of the first times that so Max was bare like he wasn't walking yet. He was mostly just like holding on to stuff and standing up. And he fell, and I think what he did was because I saw him fall, but I couldn't tell what happened because he started crying really bad right away, and it just looked like a normal fall.
Yeah.
But I think he either bit his tongue or his lip because he has
Oh,
teeth now. And like I'm like, why are you crying so bad? And then he looks up and he's got just a mouthful of blood. I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Oh, so
but
you had
like,
your first blood incident.
yeah. So I had to make sure I snapped a picture real quick. And my wife was at work, so I sent it to her, and she's just like, "Oh my God, should I come home?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, he's fine. He's fine."
Oh, yeah. Things will happen when you freak out, but it's always, as long as it's not something broken, it'll heal.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times the kids just, oh my God, yeah. My youngest one, she went through a phase where she would throw fits when she wasn't even walking yet, and she would like just crying, like she would throw herself back like with as much force as she could and bang her head on. She didn't care if it was carpet or concrete. And so you predict and you're like, oh, she's
Yeah.
so you run over and catch her before she did it. But I'm like, man, luckily she got over that pretty quick because that was a crazy time with her.
Max went through that exact same phase. He did
Oh,
that
really?
exact same. He would just whip his head
Yeah,
back
yeah,
with no regard. So if I
yeah,
was holding, it hit me in the face. If you, like you said, if he was on the floor, didn't matter. If it was
yeah,
carpet or whatever, I'm just
yeah.
like, listen,
You're like,
buddy, you're gonna learn sooner or later. It's a bad idea.
yeah. But now you see
I'm
my
not gonna
daughter.
be able to catch you every time.
Yeah. Now you see her. She's like this lovable teddy bear. So it's like, I'm like, how did you go from being this crazy Chucky little doll to like this lovable girl? And she's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's like I want to see, like, I'm excited to see Max grow up and like develop and become his own person.
Yeah,
And but at the same time, I'm like, don't ever grow. You
yeah, yeah,
just stay little and cute forever. Like,
yeah. Next thing you know, they're turning 15.
oh man,
So yeah, she's 13 now. She'll be 14 in June. So the next year's the cotillion.
yeah, that's
Ah,
awesome.
man, yeah. All
Those,
right.
you want to open up some Buffalo Trace?
Sure thing, man.
I've got a
Before I
fresh
start
bottle
crying
here.
over here.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a brand new bottle?
Yep. Yeah, this is even just this baseline Buffalo Trace around here where I live,
Yeah.
almost never see it in the store,
Wow.
which is so crazy. Um, how much just the hype has
Yeah.
dictated, what the
And
availability of this.
right, exactly. And it's you follow the Bourbon Buddies, right?
Yeah, yeah,
They just did a video talking about that where people go crazy about certain bottles and maybe there's four on the shelf and they go and buy all four. It's like, yeah,
right.
buy one, leave one, so the other people can get a chance to get it. But no, they go grab the whole shelf. So
Yep. Yeah. I love the Bourbon Buddies. They're one of my favorite channels out there. They're some good guys.
yeah.
Um, I just that we did a live together a few months back where I sent them some samples
Hmm.
blind, and I just got some samples from them today in the mail. So we're gonna set up sometime probably towards the end of the month. So
Nice.
they're paying me back. They're making me go through blind samples. So that should be fun.
So you'll have to decide, like figure out what it is that they sent you, or
Yeah, make my best guess as far
oh,
as
okay,
I don't know what kind of hints they'll give me if any, but
yeah.
um,
Well, those kind of things is what helps you develop your palate and your senses of smell and taste.
yeah, and uh, I kind of had a theme with them when I sent them my samples. Was I sent them one that a bourbon that was really cheap, so it
Yeah.
was like $13 a bottle, and I sent them two like mid-range $40-ish a bottle ones, and then the last one was like a $250 uh, like really rare
Yeah.
bourbon.
Did that come in and last?
Was that
Did that come in last? We're like, oh, not this one.
it came in second.
Oh, okay.
So the first place that they both chose New Riff as their first pick, and then that one was Russell's Reserve 2002,
Okay.
um, and then it was the $13 one in third, and
Oh,
then a store pick of Jefferson's Reserve came
okay.
in last. Yeah,
Last. Look at that.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This
What do
is
you
like
get?
really really sweet on the nose.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
I'm
not.
not getting that any nuttiness like that Jim Beam had.
Yeah. I don't. I get oak, but not as strong as the other one was. Yeah, this just smells lighter. I still Buffalo Trace. I always get that orange citrus also.
Yeah,
But right now, compared to that one, it's not as strong. This just feels weak on the nose.
it does, and it's
Like
this is what's the
45.
90. So it's four proof points higher, but yeah, it smells a lot lighter.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It I do get some caramel.
Oh yeah, that's always one of my favorite things to get. That and coconut, but what was the last one I got coconut in really strong? It was
Oh, I just watched that not too long ago too. What would
well for sure the distiller's cut gave me a lot of that. But every time I get coconut, that's my favorite. But
yeah.
I think I've gotten it on Buffalo Trace. We'll see right now when I taste it. See if it's still there. Brown sugar too.
Yep. Just a hint of vanilla.
Yeah. All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Delicious. A lot
It is
more oak on
good.
the palate.
Yeah. It kind of dried out
Yeah.
my palate. All that
Yeah.
oakiness.
Now they don't disclose their mash bills, right? But we know.
Yeah, they don't officially disclose it, but it's out there.
So one of
Trying to
them,
remember.
I haven't researched it, but do they tell us at least that they have a high rye?
So they have two different mash bills. This is their low rye mash bill.
This is their low rye.
Hmm.
I get a fair amount of like black pepper spiciness.
Yeah, I definitely get that black pepper, a little bit of that, a little bit of rye spice, and a lot of oak.
Yeah. So if it's a low rye, then
Mm,
I wonder what the other ones is. So how much does this cost around you?
I think if I remember right, I picked it up for 25 or 26,
Okay,
something like
same
that.
price here. All
Yeah.
right. I have seen it
Um,
for 50 though.
really,
Yeah.
that's so crazy.
It's like these small liquor stores, like you said, they take advantage of things,
Yeah.
but I can find this. If I go to my grocery store, they'll have it. So it's not like hard to get.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Eagle Rare, I had to pay $50. I
Okay.
could find that, and I really want to try it. And after I paid the 50, like 3 weeks later, I walk into another liquor store and they had it for 35.
Oh no. Oh, that's the worst.
But I didn't buy it because I was like, I already have one. I left it on
Right.
the shelf. I'm like, let somebody else find it.
Yeah. I like Eagle Rare a lot. And I think at that $35 price point, I think it's a great value.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I'm not disappointed that I paid 50.
yeah,
But would I buy another one at 50? No.
right.
Yeah. But I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, and like this is good, but it's not something that I would overpay for this either.
Yeah. No. Yeah. This is 25 for sure.
Hmm. And it's not one that like I would always make sure that I had stocked up either. Like I like it, but I I don't know. I don't think it lives up to all the hype, and which is almost like an impossible standard for it to live up to,
Yeah.
because I think it just belongs where it's at. It's a $25 bottle of bourbon. It's
Yeah.
perfectly great for that.
Yeah. It's not something that I'm gonna. It's almost about to finish, and I'm gonna think like, oh, I better get out there and buy me another bottle to replace it. It's like
Right.
if I get another bottle down the line, I'll get it. It's not
Yeah.
not something I'm gonna rush out and have 10 bottles in hand at all times.
Right. As like the finish has been going on, I got like a little bit of like a cinnamon toast crunch like flavor coming through.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's
That
very,
I like that.
very. buttery also,
Mm-hmm.
or silky kind of something. Just
I was lucky enough just last night. I filmed a couple of reviews that I haven't put out yet. Um, but I did a review of the 2019 George T. Stag.
yeah,
So
nice.
same mash bill as this, but oh my gosh,
What proof is that at?
that was really good. That was their lowest proof point that they've put out as a release, and it was like I think 116.9.
Okay.
Yeah, normally they're up there.
Yeah.
So people were pretty. That caused a lot of controversy this year. How low that it was. I mean, they released it at what it comes out of the barrel at, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
Yeah.
people were pretty upset about that. But I thought it was actually really good. I was really impressed with it.
I can see that. That's because their previous ones are higher. I'm assuming it's the same price, right?
Yeah, yeah, yep,
Yeah. So they're like, oh, why we get less ABV for the same price? But
right,
that's what it is.
yeah, right,
Single.
yeah. I think you know that initial kind of shock of just seeing it before you taste it. I could understand that, but I think once most people taste it, I hope that they were okay with it because it was really good.
Yeah. Stag Junior is another one I've seen once, and I saw it at the very beginning when I first started getting into whiskey. I had no idea what it was yet at that time, and I
Yeah,
saw it, and I saw the ABV, and I got a little spooked, so I was like,
yeah,
But then later on, I found out what it was, and I was like, oh, that's what it was. So ever since then, I just haven't come across it again.
yeah. And the first time I ever came across Stag Junior. I was really early in really getting into bourbon, so I tried it, and that proof was just too much for me at that time, and I'm just like, yeah, this one's not for me. But having just had it recently, I can say I like it a lot now.
Yeah, yeah. It's like my brother, he likes whiskey, and especially now that I've been doing the reviews and stuff. So he's been trying a lot more things because he used to be like, just Jack Daniels or Gentleman Jacks and stuff like that. He wouldn't go beyond that. So I got into it. So he's been tasting a couple more things, and one of his friends, she gifted him a bottle of scotch, but it's Cask Strength. So he
Mm.
sent me a picture. He's like, I don't know about this. I'm like, well, just add some water or something, some ice cube.
Right. Yeah, that's
But
what I try to
how he
tell
got,
people when they're a little bit put off or like throw an ice cube in it.
yeah,
Yeah, it'll be all right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Granted, he got wasted. Um, we had a house party, and he was only in his, I don't know, not even 15, I think, and somebody was giving him shots of Bacardi 101 or
Oh,
151.
151. Yeah, yeah.
So after that, he's like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
I can relate. I had a couple of days in my youth where I would do shots of 151, and that the night or the next day never went very well.
So I think that's what it reminded him when he saw the high proof. He's like, oh,
Yeah. So, well, don't do a shot of it.
yeah, don't do shots.
Sip on it.
That's the other thing. It's just like you're sipping stuff. You're not getting wasted. You're enjoying a glass. We're talking to somebody like me and you right now,
Right.
and just having a good time versus just getting wasted and not remembering what happened.
Yeah. And
Come to a point where you're just like, yeah, okay, it was,
right.
but maybe there's more to it than just getting wasted.
Yeah. And I personally I shied away from whiskey for the longest time because so I equated it with doing shots of,
Yeah,
Jack or whatever.
yeah,
And I used to hate anytime somebody would buy a shot and it was whiskey, I'd just be like, oh, no, thanks. Like, but then, yeah, once I kind of revisited it sipped it, and started to actually taste it as opposed to shooting it, and then I
Yeah.
started to grow an appreciation for it again.
Oh yeah. That's actually how I got into whiskey. Now that we're talking about it, was Jack Daniels. It was one of my birthdays. I think it was my 27th birthday, and one of my friends gave me a bottle of Jack, old number 7, and we were drinking beers that night. And I was like, I am not gonna open a bottle of Jack after we've been having beers all night. So I put it in the kitchen, and it stayed there for a whole year. And we were watching a movie, the wife and I, and I go get a beer, and there was no more beers. I was like, I don't want to go out and drive to the store. So I'm like, I remember I had the bottle of Jack, so I'm like, well, I'll just have a Jack and Coke. I have no Coke, so I was like, all right, today's the day. And then, oh my God, sipping on that, like, cause taking a shot, whatever, you shoot it and goes down, you're like, woo, that's it. You shake it off and you take
Right.
the or whatever. But I was trying to sip it, and it was just burning me, and I was like,
Yeah.
uh,
Why do people drink this?
yeah, but I kept at it, and eventually I started tasting the flavors, and I was like, wow. I'm like, so after that, I started, I grabbed like the Jim Beam White Label, which we used to take shots at bars too, and I started sipping it, and I'm like, wow, it's a lot different from the Jack, and then I tried something else, and it's just like I said, took off after that.
Yeah, like a snowball going downhill, just kept going
Yeah,
and going,
yeah,
building
yeah,
and building. Yeah, I kind of was similar, except for I knew I wanted to see what whiskey was all about, and every time I would try it, like you said, drinking that Jack, you're just like, ugh, like,
yeah,
um, and I was having that same type of reaction with whatever I would try. So I would start mixing it with ginger ale, and like each time just using a little bit less ginger ale,
yeah,
and so like each drink I would be able to pick up a little bit more of the flavors, and then you know after doing that for I'd say a couple weeks, I was like, okay, I'm ready to like step it up now. I can try it without anything, and then I went from there, and like once you do that,
yeah.
like you said, that snowball just keeps going and going, and now we're both on YouTube talking about whiskey.
Right. So having said that, right now, I don't know how long you've been drinking whiskey that way. For me, it's only been a little over 2 years sipping it. How comfortable are you paying like premium for a premium bottle, like $150?
Not very.
Right?
Yeah. I I've bought a couple. The most I've spent is 150, and that was one time, and I really enjoy it. And I've bought a couple that are like right around that 100 point,
Yeah.
but usually I don't like to spend more than say like that $60 price point.
Yeah,
And
that's where I'm more comfortable at too.
yeah,
Yeah. Especially because we're doing these reviews. That's the other thing, you can't go out and spend $60 every week. At least not
right.
for not me, not right now.
Yeah, me
Maybe,
either.
maybe once the kids are out of the house and on their own, and college is done with,
Yeah,
maybe then. But right now, it's like I gotta make sure they got food on the table and roof over their head. So I'm not gonna go spend what is it, like $240 a month on 4 bottles.
yeah. I'll pick stuff up when I can, and if I see something cool, and it's a little bit pricier, if I can
Yeah,
afford it at that moment, I'll consider it. If not, then I won't lose any sleep over it. But I'm pretty fortunate. I actually work part time at a bourbon bar, so anytime we get a nice bottle in there, uh,
yeah,
uh,
you get to try
I'll,
it.
yeah, I'll go in on a Sunday night when we're closed, and film a couple reviews.
Oh,
So
nice. All
yeah,
right, that's how
so
those
that
happen.
yeah,
Yeah, actually, you just did the a Weller, right?
Yeah,
The 12. Is
12
that
or
the one?
12. Yep.
Yeah, I just picked up the reserve, the special reserve, and I had to pay 40 for that. That's around $22 regular price, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah,
So I'm
should
like,
be anywhere between 22 and 30
yeah,
at retail. Yeah.
yeah. But again, it's I saw it, and you know, they had like 6 bottles on there. I bought one, left the others there.
Right.
$40. I don't think it's that horrible. I don't know how good the whiskey is. I've never tried it,
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll see how it compares to the other ones.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what you think because, yeah, I don't think 40s. I don't think you overpaid or anything like that.
Oh,
But yeah, it definitely it's kind of similar to Buffalo Trace where it's at the price point that it's at, like it's really good.
yeah,
When you start going too far over that, then it's like, you know,
yeah, definitely.
question, whether or not, it's worth that. Um, but yeah, it's another Buffalo Trace product that,
Hmm.
based on the hype.
Jo used to talk about because he used to work at the party source, and
Yeah.
that the vendors would tell him that Buffalo Trace was running out of juice. I'm like, how are they running out of juice, and then they're putting out all these new bottles, like the Weller Foolproof, I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to believe that they're running out of juice. I think they're just building that, like you said, that hype. So
Yeah.
they come out, people go out and grab it all because there's not going to be any more.
It, I'll be interested to see because maybe there's a little bit of both there. Maybe they are on a little bit limited of a supply. Uh, next to what the demand is. Maybe it is they're trying to build their own hype. I think it's a little bit of both probably.
Yeah,
Uh, but they have been expanding and producing a lot more. So it'll be interesting to see like 4 or 5 years from now when a lot of that stuff that they're producing a ton of right now starts to hit the shelves
yeah,
and it's available all the time. Is it still gonna just fly off the shelf, or is it, are they gonna saturate the market with it? So I'll be curious to see how that kind of works. Like
right,
if that's gonna dictate anything.
right, yeah. I
It's
don't
got to
know.
be hard. It's got to be hard to run a business like that
Yeah. Also,
because
I heard Blanton's Gold is going to be a annual release here now too.
yeah, which we'll never see.
So I don't know. I didn't know much about it. I guess it's only sold in like Europe somewhere.
Yeah,
Now it's
I,
going to be here
I
also. So
think like Japan and Australia, I think used to get it or
oh,
do get it, but
well, all I can see is prices going up.
hmm I'm
That's
sure. I'm sure. One, I'll never see it on the shelf, and if I do, it'll be at a place that is selling it for like 100 times more than it's worth.
yeah. Yeah, I've
I,
only seen the regular one for $80, so I think that's a little too much for me.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
what the regular price is, maybe in the 60s.
yeah. I think regular price is like right at 60, which I think Blanton's is good.
Yeah.
I think it's worth that $60 price point, but I don't think it's worth
It's just when, yeah, it's
much
only
more than
twenty
that.
dollars more, but then you're like, for $80, I can also get something that's
Yeah,
maybe better.
and it's only and it for like thinking of the proof, it's like 93 proof. So usually, if you're paying over $60, up to $80 for something, it's going to be something more close to barrel proof and
Yeah,
um, to where you feel at least a little bit better uh, about the bang for your buck. But
yeah. $80, I probably would rather get like a Booker's or something.
yeah, yeah.
Higher proof and more. Especially me, I like to add the water to it. I don't know if you add water to yours sometimes, but
I don't do that as much as I should just to try it out like you do. When I do reviews, I don't. But
but
if
just
I'm just sometimes if I'm just, especially in the summer, if I'm just sitting at home drinking, I'll drink it with like a large cube.
ice cube.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, so especially if it's like Booker's, I almost always drink with a large cube, unless I'm trying to get specific notes. But
Now, do those larger cubes melt? Do they melt slower or?
Yeah,
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 okay. Because that's why I don't add ice to mine really, because by the time I finish it, it's just all watered down, and so a bigger ice cube would be better.
yeah, yeah. I like to use them, and you can buy like a little like 6 cube
Yeah,
mold on Amazon for like $6 or $8. So
I'll
um,
try that. Yeah,
yeah, I like to do that. I like that a lot better than using small ice cubes. Like you said, they just melt so fast, and
yeah,
it becomes too watered down too fast.
yeah. To me, it just brings out a lot more of that alcohol taste when it gets
Mhm.
really watered down. I don't know with the ice cube. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, yeah. That is interesting. It is interesting sometimes even just adding a couple of drops of water can make that alcohol come out
Yeah.
even more too. Um, I saw on your Facebook the other day, like I
Hmm.
think yesterday maybe,
Yeah.
that you and one of your daughters met the Green Ranger.
Yeah. That was awesome. Yeah.
What
And I
was
don't know
that all
about you,
about?
but I grew up watching the Power Rangers with my brothers. After school.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, yeah. So now with like Netflix, and they're putting out all these seasons, and I didn't even have to like push it on her, like, hey, watch the Power Rangers. She's just one day I heard go Power Rangers, and I'm like, what? I go, and she's there watching it, eating her cereal. I'm like, you like Power Rangers? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. I'm like, then we start talking, and so yeah, me and her always watching cartoons and stuff. But the Power Rangers, I didn't think she was gonna get into, because she was always into like the girly, like Sailor Moon and stuff like that, like those Pokemon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when we got into that, so it's like I saw that he was gonna come down to the comic book convention, and I didn't tell her until I got the tickets, because I was like, I don't want to say we're going and then I can't get the tickets, and it's like,
Right.
you promised me. So yeah, meeting him was pretty cool, especially since it was with her, and he's a really nice guy. I mean, he took his time with everybody, and answered their questions and talked to them. Not
That's
just like picture, get out of here. It was like,
right.
yeah, really
Yeah.
cool.
What? So that who which one was your favorite Power Ranger when you were watching it, like growing up?
Oh, me? Oh,
Yeah.
for sure it was him, man. It was the
Was it?
Green Ranger. Yeah, yeah.
I was always I think because we shared the same name, but I was a big fan of the Red Ranger, Jason, like the
Oh, Jason.
original
Yeah.
Ranger. Yeah. Um, and I thought Kimberly was hot too, the Pink
Oh,
Ranger.
dude, I'm a cunt. Seriously, who didn't? It's like being like I was like 12, I think, at the time or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
Right. um, did you guys run into like anything else at that convention? Like anybody else like famous there or?
I mean, just the people that the other actors that were signing autographs next to him. The guy from Arrow, from the CW show Arrow.
Okay.
He was there signing with another one of his uh, actresses from that show. Forgot her name, but I'm really bad with actors' names, but the guy that plays the Hulk in the Avengers movies,
Oh,
he was
the
there. Yeah, I didn't get to see him though. He was on the other side,
Mark
but he
Ruffalo.
was there signing autographs. It's one of the biggest comic book conventions in Chicago. So they got some big stars coming,
Yeah.
signing autographs and stuff. So definitely going back, checking out those things, because it was fun. It was fun. It's it's like going to Disneyland and seeing a
Yeah. All the
bunch of
people dressed up and yeah, I imagine that was a cool experience. Your daughter really enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I said, she's into that. We're all like, my wife, when we got married, she didn't know that side of me, that I liked reading comic books and stuff, and it's like, you know, once I stopped buying them for a while, but once my older daughter started reading, and she was having a hard time, keeping up with her like reading. logs and stuff for school. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna take her to the comic book shop and see if that motivates her to read.
Yeah.
So she loved it. So I started getting her subscriptions to that. So that's how she got into reading. And then I started getting whatever was coming out, like The Walking Dead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I come home and my wife's like, she's like, oh cool, and she starts reading it, and I'm like, you like comic books? I'm like, I thought you're supposed to marry somebody that you really know, right? I'm like, I didn't know that side of her. Your name is Cindy, isn't it?
That's
So
all. Like,
yeah, so we all sit down and
yeah,
we would sit down and read comic books and stuff and watch. We'll go to movies and watch all those
that's cool.
superhero movies. So something we can do as a family, and nobody's forced to go. Like dragging them to go
Right.
somewhere to be at. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool how like today reading comic books or watching comic book movies is not considered nerdy at all. Like when we were growing up, that was almost kind of a nerdy thing to do,
Yeah,
to be like super into comic books. But it's kind of cool how that's like, you know,
it's because
everybody,
there's
everybody,
different levels of nerdiness, I guess.
yeah, right, right. Not and now like people could call us whiskey nerds or
Yeah,
bourbon nerds.
yeah.
So, but it's whatever. It's cool.
There's this guy at work, and he's older. He's an older gentleman, but he says, he was talking about when he was in college, he started playing Dungeons and Dragons, and he's like, but he said he was always late to the scene. He's like, so I started playing Dungeons and Dragons when it became a nerd thing. So it wasn't cool anymore. You just get picked on for playing Dungeons and Dragons.
That's one thing I never got into was Dungeons and Dragons. Like it seems like something that's like cool and that I would probably like, but I just for
Yeah, I've never
whatever
tried
reason
it.
never got into it.
It seems like very, very complicated.
Yeah, it does seem like too much work. I'm kind
Yeah,
of lazy.
I like playing some card games, especially with the girls. Um, got them into playing some card games. It makes them think. You got to think on the spot, so it's like
Yeah,
problem solving right there. So it's not just playing some stupid card game. I mean, you're using your brain. You're it's a muscle. So that's at least that's what I tell myself. So I don't
yeah.
sound too geeky.
Going back to this, I get I've been smelling like kind of like a cola note, like almost like a cherry cola.
I get that a lot in the Eagle Rare
Yeah.
for some reason. Is it the same Nashville too? I'm not
Yep.
really yeah, it is.
Yep.
And they're the same proof, aren't they?
Yeah. Eagle Rare is 90, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both the same proof, huh? Just older.
Right.
Yeah, that H on the Eagle Rare does give it a big step up if it just tastes creamier.
Yeah.
I've had it, yeah.
Yeah. I think it kind of mellows it out too. Like that. It still kind of dries my mouth out a lot. All that like oakiness.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a little bit more rougher on the edges than Eagle Rare is.
Yeah. But I've definitely had some really bad stuff, and this is
Yeah.
not it.
No. And this actually, one of my coworkers at the bar, shout out to Logan, um, he started making mint juleps with this. I don't know if you ever had a mint julep.
I've never had one.
This Buffalo Trace makes a really good mint julep. Something about this with the mint really makes it stand out. Definitely the best mint julep I've had.
Yeah, comics out. That's what it's called, right?
What's that?
What's it called when you mixology? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about comics, someone saying comicsology. Mixing comics and bourbon, huh?
Yeah.
That's
It's a good for me.
yeah. I want to try some mixed drinks. Maybe you start off with like an old fashioned or something.
Yeah, that's
I've never had them, so
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite cocktail is an old fashioned, just because it is mostly bourbon. It's a little bit
Okay.
of sugar and an orange
So
peel, basically.
you would say try that first, or
Yep,
yeah.
yep,
All right.
yep. It's
Like
most people. The two like basic bourbon cocktails are an old fashioned or a Manhattan,
yeah.
and most people are usually one or the other. So I love old fashions and I hate Manhattans. And I know people that love Manhattans and hate old
Yeah.
fashions. Um,
Wow.
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people that like both, but I,
Is one sweeter than the other or something, or
yeah, the Manhattans use like sweet vermouth
okay.
along with well, usually it's made with a rye, um, but yeah, it's too sweet and too bitter for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to try them. See what
Yeah,
side am I gonna be on,
right. Maybe you'll like them both, but from experience, it's usually one or the other.
or the other. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to try out. Next
Yeah,
time I'm at a restaurant or something, they have it. I'll order one.
yeah. Just make sure that it's not at like a dive bar. Make sure it doesn't have to be like a super fancy place, but make sure they at least know how to
They know
make
what
one.
they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many
But
people complain about asking for a whiskey neat, and they'll get it in a shot glass or something like that, right? So there's
yeah, I went to a local bar one time and they actually have a decent whiskey selection. And I ordered it was just Basil Hayden's, but I ordered Basil Hayden's neat, and they gave it to me in a plastic cup.
uh,
And I'm just like, I try not to be picky. Like I don't want to be that guy, but
yeah, but
I,
a
I don't
plastic cup.
I don't
Give
want
me
to
a
drink
glass
my
at least.
bourbon out of a plastic cup, especially when I'm paying a premium for it at a bar.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. $20 or something. Yeah.
Mm. Um, before we like wrap this up,
Okay.
I'm looking for a good dad joke. You have any good dad jokes for me?
I got jokes and jokes.
I need to
Yeah,
build up a stock. I'm new at this dad thing, so
these are classics. You probably heard them, but these are the ones that I'll say them over and over, and my girls hate it.
that's
I
that's
want
the
them to
best.
hate it to the point where they're gonna tell their kids one day.
Yeah,
Your
right.
grandpa Antonio used to say this all the time. Um, my best one is what kind of cheese is not your cheese? Nacho cheese. They hate that one. They hate uh you can't tune up too much whiskey, man. You can't tune
you
you
can
can't tune a
you can
you
tune
can't
a piano.
you can't
You can tune a guitar.
tune a fish or rum.
The just a couple nights ago, my wife and I brought home Taco Bell, and I gave her food, and I had ordered the nacho fries, and she's like, "Oh, what are those?" I looked at her, I go, "Nacho fries."
Sometimes they just come to you at that moment.
Mhm.
And sometimes
Um,
I've said things that my wife just goes like, "Really?" And I'm like, "What?" And then she'll say, it, I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even mean it that way. It just
right.
came out.
It just comes naturally.
It just comes naturally." Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. My goddaughter's sister, she'll be like, "Stop it with the dad jokes already." Can't
uh,
help.
my wife kept bugging me because she thinks I have a terrible sense of direction. Like anytime we're in the car, I tend to like turn the wrong way or whatever. So she just kept nagging me about it. So finally, I just packed up all my stuff and I write.
There you go, man. You're a pro at this already. You didn't need my help.
Am I getting
You didn't need
there?
my help. I'm over here, can't even tune a fish, and I'm like,
Oh man, Antonio, This was a blast, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Everybody, check out Antonio. Subscribe to his channel, Whiskey Quest. Well, where else can people find you?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter as well. Same thing, Whiskey Quest. Yeah, Instagram I mainly just behind the scenes and what's coming up next, what I posted. I like to post, I'm into photography too, so I like to take nice pictures of my bottles and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's what I use Instagram for the most. So
awesome. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Antonio, cheers.
Cheers. Ding. Oh, the other way.
Ding.